Doctor smacks down GOP congressman in hearing by asking, "What's a woman?" Recently, the House Judiciary Committee held a hearing that was held to address how the Supreme Court is going to overturn Roe v. Wade. North Carolina Republican Representative Dan Bishop tried to trip up Dr. Yashica Robinson, who is on the Board of Physicians for Reproductive Health, by asking, quote, "In your written testimony, I noticed that you use she, her pronouns. You're a medical doctor. What's a woman?" End quote. She replied that she uses she, her pronouns because some people who might get pregnant may not identify that way. Bishop asked if that was a comprehensive of a definition as she could give. Robinson replied, quote, "That's as comprehensive of a definition as I will give you today, because I think that it's important that we focus on what we're here to talk about. And it's about access to abortion," end quote. Watch this.
Dr. Robinson, I noticed in your written testimony, you said that you use she, her pronouns. You're a medical doctor. What's a woman?
It's important for you to understand why I said I use she, her pronouns.
Well,
it's because I understand that there are people.
I was explaining why I'm asking the question, but I'd just like to get an answer to the question. What's a woman?
I think it's important that we educate people like you about why we're doing the things that we do. And so the reason that I use she and her pronouns is because I understand that there are people who become pregnant that may not identify that way. And I think it is discriminatory to speak to people or to call them in such a way as they desire not to be called.
Thanks for that.
So it's important that we respect each individual person.
Are you going to answer my question? Can you answer the question, what's a woman?
I'm a woman. And I will ask you, which pronouns do you use?
Can you
If you
provide,
tell me that you use she and her pronouns, I'm going to answer you. I'm going to call you Mr. Bishop. I'm going to respect you for how you want me to address you.
I'm just asking, so you give me an example of a woman, you say that you are a woman. Can you tell me, otherwise, can you tell me what a woman is?
Yes, I'm telling you, I'm a woman.
Is that as comprehensive a definition as you can give me?
That's as comprehensive as a definition as I will give you today, because I think that it's important that we focus on what we're here for, and it's to talk about access to abortion
So you're not interested in answering the question I asked
is.
Ooh, he's annoying.
Crazy.
I loved her answer. I'm a woman. I loved her answer.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, okay. I'm not going to speak for women because I'm not a woman. So I'm going to leave this to the rest of you. But women means something different to everybody. Yes or no?
Yeah.
I definitely agree.
I think society has also made it that way, that there's like a stringent definition of woman. And that's why I think a lot of non-binary people and trans folks like us have a hard time, because we don't fit into that quote-unquote established definition of a woman. And we saw
what he should be asking is to define sex, not gender.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah, it's like, you know, that strict binary, you know, the strict binary. And I think a lot of trans people and gender non-conforming people, it's like almost like a gender war, a tug of war. I mean, I remember from 4 years old feeling like I didn't fit in, and the name calling and all of that. So that's when that started. But I am just so happy that she came, and she came strong. I mean, she let them have,
well.
We need more people like her in the medical community, because he was trying to intimidate her. He wasn't even letting her talk. And if you notice, the whole thing that spurred on that conversation was the use of she, her pronouns, which is something that I want to talk about, because a lot of people in society, they understand why they should do it, but they don't. And people kind of just glaze over it. Oh, maybe, you know, if I use the wrong pronoun, sorry. And I think it's not. I think it's a lot bigger of an issue than that, even more than social. So I come from, obviously, the medical community. And in the medical community, if you kind of insult someone through their pronouns and you don't even mean to, the patient, it means a lot more than social. It can impact their healthcare. They might not even tell you about their sexual identity, which is going to impact their medical treatment. So I think that even when this congressman glazed over the pronouns, it kind of gave that hint that maybe it doesn't matter, but I'm giving an example where it really does, even more from a societal standpoint, from a medical standpoint.
Yeah, and also from a mental, because as a trans person, if I'm misgendered, it does bother me.
Yeah.
It does bother me. And so,
It's like people are making assumptions, which is one of the most hurtful things. You know, if you don't know, ask.
Exactly. And you know what I liked when she says, well, I am a woman. You know what it comes down to? It comes down to how a person identifies.
How you
and
feel.
yeah, and when she threw it back at him and says, okay, so are you a man? You know, and
What
I'm
are
not
your
quote-
pronouns?
Yeah, what are your pronouns? Yeah. You know, that was in a way, I think, to let him know, listen, it's about a person's identity, how they choose to identify themselves, you know.
Very true.
He's treating all of this like a joke, which doesn't surprise me, honestly. And I honestly, I love the way that she replied, and I'm telling you, how are you supposed to get her answer when you won't let her speak?
Well, that's
It
what
just
they do.
Kept cutting her off, and that's honestly.
He wants to make her look crazy.
Yeah.
Hello.
But she was very to the point and professional. I am a woman.
Right.
So intelligent, and he couldn't take it. That's why he kept
Yeah.
trying to talk over her, you know.
I think it's interesting, too, that in the hearings for the new Supreme Court judge that was just appointed,
Judge
they-
Jackson.
that's it.
She-
They asked the same question. And I'm
They
like,
both replied
did.
very well.
They
Like,
Yeah,
they both
really
carried
well.
themselves.
But it's interesting that there's that thread of questioning now, you know, that's happening. So we'll move on.
LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Laura are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out Television Network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBT